Grady Bonzel,
Here.
Dennis Needham,
Here.
Matt McKenzie,
Here.
and Curtis Penrod,
Here.
Wally Hanson.
All right, any public comment? Seeing none. Okay, site plan for 1019 Center. This is mine, so Grady, I'm going to yield the chair to you, and I'm going to become the applicant.
Oh, okay, great.
Do we vote now or what?
Okay, so I guess, Matt, have you already went through all this?
Yeah,
Zach?
Zach, do you wanna go through it
Okay.
first? You want-
Yeah.
I can go
Yeah.
through it real quick. Presented in front of you guys was the application turned in by the applicant, Mr. McKenzie. The property is 1019 Center Avenue. The zoning is downtown mixed use. The present use of the property is a vacant building. It is the old dry cleaner building, if that relates to anybody. And the proposed use is a bar/event center. All of the adjacent zoning and land uses are commercial downtown mixed use, us being to the west of it. From there, we can move on to the checklist for the site plan. Name of the project, the address, boundaries, the date, the north arrow on the plan was there. The name and address of the owner, record developer, the seal of the engineer, architect, or landscape architect was not at this point. Those will be required before the building permits are issued. It's just like the other site plan reviews we've done in the past. That's just one of the stipulations of getting your building permit. You have to have those plans stamped. The name and addresses of all owners, all existing lot lines and easements and right-of-ways, the location and use of all existing proposed building and structures within the development, the location of all present and proposed public and private ways, driveways, sideways, walk, ramp, curb, fences, locations of screening details for all waste disposal containers shall be shown. This one won't have its own waste containers as they're in the alley, just like every other business on Main Street, so that's not a requirement they would have to have. The location of the required parking areas, all of that's already built on site. Any proposed signage, landscape plan, it's already kind of landscaped. It's hard to tell from the pictures shown in these images because they are old satellite images, but there has been a lot of work done to that property previously that has already set it up for use outside. The location of all existing and proposed utility systems, plans to prevent the pollution of surface or groundwater, the erosion of soil both during and after construction, existing and proposed topography. This really isn't a big requirement on this property as there's not really groundwork occurring. Existing and proposed zoning district boundaries adjacent to the site's perimeter, the traffic flow patterns. Detailed traffic study was not required. For design standards, it is located in downtown. Does the building rooftop have at least two of the following: parapets concealing flat roofs or rooftop equipment, overhanging eaves, sloped roofs, or three or more roof slope planes? Yes, it does. Except for meters, electric, telephone service pedestals, transformers, three-phase feeder lines, sub-transmission and transmission lines, electrical substations, and such other facilities that may deem necessary to install utilizing overhead-type construction are all telephone and cable television lines, electrical services, and distribution lines placed underground. No, they are not. This is already all existing stuff. So it's just being updated. It's not being buried under the ground. All the gas meters and any front yards located within building the foundation, within 3 feet of the building foundation. form and proportion of building consistent and compatible with the scale, form, and proportion of existing development in the immediate area. Pedestrian access shall be an integral part of the overall design. Does it provide safe and convenient access to and from off-street parking areas? Yes, there's a sidewalk pretty much on that whole side of the street there, as well as off-street parking that's provided along there in front of all the businesses. Do the sidewalk widths meet those required by subdivision regulations? Yes, they do. Is there a continuous internal pedestrian sidewalk provided? Yes. And then the next one, are all sidewalks located at least 5 feet away from the building Jeez Louise. To provide planting areas for landscaping along the foundation of the building? No. That is all there already. He has sidewalk there. It'd be kind of hard to put landscaping when the building is built up to the property line.
Right.
Architectural design is a variation of detail, form, and siding to provide visual interest. Are loading docks, trash enclosures, outdoor storage, and other similar facilities and functions incorporated into the overall design? Yes. Does the building with 100 feet or greater in length incorporate recesses and projections along at least 20% of the building? Yes. Windows and awnings and arcades total at least 60% of the front of the length abutting any public street? Yes. This next one is in relation to abutting a residential district, which this is all downtown mixed use that it's touching, so the answer's here nor there on that one. And then we get to the exterior building standards, masonry, glass, and metal panels. The only things it doesn't include is wood and concrete finish. From there, I would turn it over to the applicant.
All right, I don't know what else, Josh had picture-wise, but you guys can see the property right there. So there's, yeah, that's easier to see. There's 2 lots there. The lot to the north is the old dry cleaner building. The lot to the south is where this green grass is over here, and then there's an old tin shed in the back that is held up by Bluetooth, I think. So that's in the process of coming down. But the plan is to turn this into basically an event venue. So the old dry cleaner building becomes a bar that'll have little kitchen, a bar area, pool tables, some sitting area, bathrooms. And then the patio area stays as it is, an outdoor patio, and then the tin shed in the back is coming down, and a new building is going up in its place on the same footprint. So that new building will then become a place to have a stage and live music, basically big open area, and then the west side of that building will basically be one large garage door that will open up into the patio. So you can kind of be on the patio in the big event center, and then we're going to cut a pretty big garage door into the dry cleaner, into the bar, so they can open that up. And then in the nice weather, it's just kind of one big open
Space,
yeah. So that's the big plan for the whole thing. We've been working over there for 6 or 8 weeks now on just cleaning it up, and we're pretty close. Dry cleaner building is cleaned out. In the back, that tin shed is cleaned out, and it started coming down today. So
It looks
by
pretty
the end of
good.
the week, that thing will be gone. So we're making progress, but it's almost time for construction. So hence, here we are, making sure this all aligns with what we're trying to do as a planning commission and aligns with the code of the city. But I'm gonna give you guys a heads up.
Matt, you said it was in the business district. Good,
Mhm.
right? And not gonna affect any neighbors or anything like that?
No, actually, everybody's happy that we're cleaning it up. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Good,
Um,
yes.
we've evicted a lot of stray cats. We're down to a mama cat and one baby that we all have too big of a heart, and it's a feral cat and a kitten, and nobody should care, but we all feel too bad for it. So we're hoping we're giving her enough incentive to move on. So far she is not, but she doesn't have much place to hide anymore. So all the rest of them are gone though. She's the only one that I see around there anymore. And somebody was feeding them in that tin shed back there. Every day there was fresh food. Every day I'd throw it away.
Oh, wow.
So we finally got that stopped. So nobody's getting fed on that lot anymore, which is a huge improvement.
Yeah.
So maybe when it becomes a bar again, it'll come back. I'm just kidding. So are you gonna be serving food? I'm guessing like light food, snack?
Yeah,
type
they're
stuff?
gonna have kind of he's trying to develop a menu that's a little bit different than just bar food, but it's gonna be what you could get out of a fryer. Longer term plans, we're gonna try to do an outdoor kitchen in that
Oh, wow.
patio area where he can have a smoker. So like he might
Yeah.
smoke a brisket
That
or something
sounds
like
good.
that. And
Impossible for me to stay away.
but we're kind of turning that little block right over here into the place to be in Goodland. So the buildings along 11th Street, we've got a new Mexican restaurant in there. Anika Padilla is moving her, there's my drawing, it's kind of hard to see, but Anika's moving her sweet shop over into the corner and gonna have an arcade. There are a couple other commercial businesses going in there. One of those I'm gonna hold for my own business office, but it's gonna be like a place to bring your family and something for everybody to do right over there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's kind of my drawing. So if you start on the top left blue box is the dry cleaner building, and then top right blue box would be just that open space in the alley that's back there already, and then that little box in there is, right now that's where all the dry cleaner big equipment like the boiler and the machine that pump the fluid and all that all housed right there. That's gonna get remodeled into the bathrooms for the bar. The middle green box in the middle on the left is the patio area. The green box on the right will be the new building that goes up back there. So roughly, that building right now is 27 by 60. And it does not sit on the lot line, so I'm gonna push it out to the lot line. So it'll be 30 by 60, just to maximize the space. And then the smaller boxes along the bottom are the properties on 11th Street. So on the very left, that's where the arcade and the sweet shop will be. Then the next two are the Mexican restaurant. The kind of the peach colored one is where my business office is going to be. And then the last one over there on the bottom right. So Josh Moberly rents from me in the hotel right now.
Yeah.
His massage therapy. We're going to move him over here because he can expand and do some things that we can't do in the hotel right now. So that'll be future, but we're going to start on that this summer for him too. So.
I guess you're planning a year's time to do this, or how fast are you working?
The goal, so pressure's on.
Oh, wow.
The
okay.
goal is the big grand opening at Flatlanders.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
everything is rolling pretty well right now. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the guy that's going to rent the bar and the event center actually already has a band booked. So the pressure is on to get it done. But he worked with a big promoter out of Denver, and he didn't tell me who the band was, but it's supposed to be a little bigger than what you'd normally find in a Northwest Kansas town. So we'll see
Oh,
if we
okay.
can pull that together.
Maybe like AC/DC or something.
I don't know, maybe not that way.
Close.
But we're working on it.
Well, they'll be in Denver in July or June or something, so I thought maybe they'd be close enough.
Hold them over.
Well, cool, that's awesome, man. Yeah, looks good. Like always, we always get excited about people growing the community and new businesses and just new ideas, fresh start for things, so I think that's,
Well,
Be
it's a
great.
good development for what's been there. There's nothing been there.
Yeah, it's been really underutilized for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's all gonna get put to work here in the next few months.
how long has that building been vacant?
Well, so 2005, I think, the dry cleaner closed, 4 or 5, somewhere in there. Yeah, so nothing's happened there since then. And then that would have kind of encompassed that patio and tin shed area. Of course, when Susie Connor bought the strip on 11th Street, she bought all this property, and she at least cleaned up that patio area and did that improvement. But a lot of those buildings Susie was trying to get going, but they had sat, before she bought it, they had sat empty for quite a while.
I don't see any issues there, do you guys see
No.
anything? It aligns with all the zoning and the use for that area of town.
Zach mentioned it, so the new building that's going up, we will have stamp plans eventually. We're still working through sort of final details and some changes here and there that I want in the building, but once those are done, then we'll get those to Zach and he'll have the stamp plans before we start anything there, so.
What do you think?
building or stick built?
It'll be a pole barn.
What do you think on like the next couple of weeks, I'm guessing or so?
Yeah, actually, so if, right now I have him on the schedule to start sometime in June, so we've gotta get plans finalized, deposits down, materials ordered, so that he can have all that come through, and hopefully that building, the old building, will be down here in the next week or so.
Who's
So,
doing the building?
Fernando Martinez,
Oh,
Straight
yeah.
Edge.
Yeah, he's a good guy, I know.
Yeah, he's done a lot of work for me, and I've kind of worked for him on occasion too on some other things, so we've got a good partnership, and he does good work.
But with all this construction and stuff, I mean, I know we don't have a whole lot of new being built other than that pole barn. Is that gonna impede traffic or anything, you think, or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, we got plenty of parking down 11th Street and on Center Street. As far as when they do construction, that's the one thing we haven't figured out. We're gonna have to figure out where we're gonna stage the construction material for that new building, because the patio entrance off Center Street is not wide. It's basically, you know, bigger than a normal walkway, but not big enough to stage materials through. So that will be a little bit of a challenge. We'll have to work with Zach on how and where we stage materials.
Sure.
I don't know what that looks like yet.
Well, I'm sure you'll figure something out. There's plenty of.
Fernando's built in the city limits before,
Mhm.
and so I'm sure he's familiar and knows what to do.
Sure. Okay. Do we have any other questions, or
No?
Ben, you have any questions?
No. I was just reading this section, section 1307, the development guidelines for commercial industrial districts. They should meet the following minimum guidelines, and this proposal does, because there isn't really that much to change. Basically has the form and proportion of buildings shall be consistent or compatible with the scale, form, and proportion of existing stuff, the existing development in the immediate area. The rhythm of structural mass to voids should relate to the rhythms established in adjacent buildings. And this part of your application shows that very well, how it all works together.
Yeah, the majority of it's all existing.
Yeah, and majority of it's all existing. And then it goes into, if there's large structures with overlay long facades, well, there really isn't anything here that's gonna change because of that. Architectural design should create visual interest through the use of different textures, complementary colors, shadow lines, and contrasting shapes. We kind of have that already with the buildings that are not, it's not monotony
Right.
in it, it's already happened. In fact, the next one starts with monotony of design shall be avoided.
Yeah.
Well, this is downtown, and it works very well. And then careful consideration of durable materials, proportion, and shapes. So the entire checklist that Zach went through is trying to meet, just to bring up the questions that are in this, what's in the code.
Right.
So, and then it talks about masonry materials and then also metal facades. And we don't really have metal facades on any of this. I don't know if the new building's
The
gonna.
new building will be metal,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but it's, you know, it's set back more
It's
than
on
halfway
the
back in the
street.
lot, and then the west facing, which would be the front of that building, Well, so the building is going to be 30 feet wide, and 24 feet of that width is a full glass garage door. So almost the whole front of that building is a glass door.
Yeah, all the public facing is.
Yeah, so the metal sides that would be solid metal will be the north side, which faces that open space, which will be kind of employee parking, I would say, deliveries. And then the other side, which faces, I couldn't show it in this picture, there's actually a courtyard between that peach space and the blue space and the green back there. So that building does not touch those other buildings. There's a courtyard back there, but I drew that out in Excel.
That's
I'm not
fine.
a designer, so Curtis is cringing.
So I just wanted to go through that saying that it meets all the criteria, so.
I guess the next step is to see if everybody's in favor of it. Or
Need a motion to,
make sure everybody's good.
is that right? Make a motion to,
Yeah,
Approve the site plan
Approve.
review
yeah,
for 1019 Center Avenue.
yeah, I make a motion to approve this site management of 1019
1019 Center.
Center.
I will second.
Yeah, I guess you're on your way, I guess. Thanks.
You wanna vote?
Oh, yeah, I'll take it out. Yeah, thanks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All in favor, not, or not in favor? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
There it is.
Now you can see the little courtyard back there.
Are you gonna keep all the graffiti?
Oh my gosh, the graffiti is terrible, and it got worse over spring break. The kids needed something to do. Hopefully we can stop that with somebody actually occupying space. So. Okay, moving on. Review of comprehensive plan update from October 2000. Kent?
Hot off the presses.
This was the last comprehensive plan update. It was, mainly the work of it was basically done in 1998, 1999. This is the update, the final approval that was after everything completed in October of 2000. According to one of the jobs of the planning commission is to review the comprehensive plan on an annual basis and then have an update when needed. I think there's some current things that are happening that could provide us an impetus to actually move forward with revising this comprehensive plan. I know we've discussed it a couple different times as we come in here, but just wanted to go through it, fairly, just a cursory overview, basically. Real technical, but did you guys have any comments to start with regarding?
Well, yeah, I saw it was, yeah, it's definitely outdated, needs to be
Yeah,
revamped or updated.
I noticed that we still have a housing shortage as identified in the year 1998, as well as a need for a grocery store in addition to Walmart. Those things didn't change.
Well, we kind of got that one going.
Mm-hmm.
The market?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice.
I think if I remember right, last time we were kind of talking about this, there were some things that definitely got accomplished, but there was a lot of things that were still common problems today that,
Right.
so yes, the plan's out of date, but man, some things don't ever change. So, I can't remember if I told you guys or not in this forum, but so Tina Wolak at the foundation has started looking at this program, and I cannot remember what the name of it is off the top of my head. I couldn't find it, but there is a program out there that helps start the community discussion around what do you want in your community? You know, what do you see for the future? I don't think I think that if something like that happens, it probably naturally comes through the foundation, but I think we as the planning commission and probably the city could lean into that and listen and maybe even, let that lead into the discussion that we'll need around the next comprehensive plan. Or maybe it could even be that as we learn more and, you know, figure out what that actually is or what it looks like. But Tina's program, so there's costs associated with all that, you know, it costs to bring people together and have meetings and all that stuff. But this program had grant dollars to help pay for some of that, which that's why I think it's probably more important for it to come or start at the foundation, and then we figure out where we fit into that discussion.
Well, I think also, I mean, a lot of the dynamics are changing, you know, like the number of people, and income and all that. I think we talked about figuring all that out too. I mean, I know housing prices has gone up and people's income and stuff. So I think we might need to figure out what the dynamics of our town is now. Because, I mean, it seems like we're getting younger. I don't know, but it seems like younger people are coming in. So, but I think that's a good idea to have, be involved with another foundation, like with Tina, and kind of see what that work looks like.
Do you know on average what's it cost to build a comprehensive or update a comprehensive plan?
I did it about 20 years ago with another community, and we spread it over 3 budget years. But for that smaller community, it was 25 at that time. I would say it's at least double that. It's probably somewhere between 50 and 100, you know, so that's a wide range.
Right.
But what is crucially important is to get the input and the people to provide some direction rather than, you know, the planning commission and the city commission obviously have a large bit of input in the comprehensive plan. But we need input from so many other sectors of the community in order to do it well.
Right.
And in order for us to know what choices and to start choosing from about how we would do this. And that's the hard part. And if you turn to page 3, they have the planning process here. Well, it's 3 within the plan. I don't know what it is on the PDF. But, you know, at the bottom of that page, it says it's the result, the comprehensive plan marks an important step in an ongoing process of comprehensive community planning. It's a result of joint efforts of the city administration, the governing body, the planning commission, the city staff, other government and non-government agencies, interested groups, and citizens. This plan that they have here started with a survey of perception of community stakeholders and city staff about existing city services and programs. This base of information was used in a public meeting where focus groups of volunteer citizens were charged with identifying the issues most critical to the growth of the city through the next 20 years. The process continued with a policy charrette to study the issues and evaluate proposals regarding future growth areas, land development pattern, and strategies for adequate public infrastructure and services. And then finally, a series of workshops was held, culminating in a public hearing to continue citizen input. Well, and then they talk about what should be done as it keeps going on. That's kind of the typical process, but what you were talking about through the foundation, I think it was Community Heart and Soul was the
That's right. Yep.
Process, trying to reach different sectors of the community. And I think, you know, there's key stakeholders in the community that I don't know, or it's not evident to me that they were really involved in this process. Whether it was the technical college, which was here at the time, whether it's immigrants, you know, there were certainly immigrants that were here in Goodland at that time. You know, different parts of the community that normally aren't asked, including the ones that are regularly asked. And trying to combine those, and that's the hard part, and to have a process that will have one genuine input, but also kind of a little bit more in-depth input too. Not just the surface, we need housing. Okay, that's great. That's such a big topic. And as we've talked in a couple different things that we've come about, there's lots of slices of that topic. And then it starts going into other topics that kind of step on people's toes sometimes. Whether it's multifamily housing, whether it's ADUs, accessory dwelling units, try not to use acronyms for anybody listening, or other things. But the housing is just one topic. You know, when this project comes together regarding the grain mill and bakery and significant employment in the industrial park, there's going to be other changes because of that. And how do we at least talk about it? That doesn't mean it can't be completely different when the issue is presented, but how can we talk about it for the town overall? And how can we look forward? That's not just 1 year forward, but a generation forward.
Yeah, and this one was 20 to 30 years, is what they were forecasting.
Right, in 2000. And as you read it, just like Commissioner McKenzie said, it's some of it hits and some of it doesn't. So.
So, in things that I've done in the past, you know, a lot of times we will look for a long-range vision. And then within that vision, we say, okay, what are we gonna do short range? And then kind of like build up to that. Is this something that we would do? Or just say, hey, we just want a long-range vision and not have short items? Kind of get into that, you know what I mean? That way we can see what we are accomplishing, because reading this and then seeing where we're at, it's like, okay, what did we get done? What didn't we get done? You know, that way we can actually, and to me, I feel like when people see that we make some headway, boy, they get on the roller coaster, if you will, and they say, hey, this is going good, so let's keep it going type thing. Or I guess they could do it the other way too, but I've always seen the positive side of that. So I don't know if that's a direction, a way to do this as well.
And some comprehensive plans do that. They'll have short, medium, and long-term goals.
I think that's wise.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Stepping stones to your long-term goals with the short-term goals.
Right.
well, and some, you know, the short ones are going to be more easily identifiable.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the further out you go, it gets a little murky, a little broader, a little more vague.
And some of them can even build upon one another. Like, yeah, we want more housing, but do we have the infrastructure to handle more housing? Do we?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think it helps us too, as a planning commission team, to keep the codes up to date, because as things change, you know, the way things are manufactured, built and stuff, that changes as well, so we can kind of keep up with it. You know, I mean, 20 years ago, they probably didn't have as many buildings, metal buildings, as we do now, right?
Right.
You know, so, I mean, or you think of the technology, you know, that's all different now, so. internet. I mean, cable doesn't, even- I mean, it exists, but most people don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So telephones, that kind of thing. So it'll help us kind of keep up with the codes and stuff like that, I think.
As we prepare the ground for, taking steps toward doing an updated comprehensive plan, is there anything else that you would like to see as a parameter put in of how to go about that? What, is there anything else you want to make sure happens as we get ready at some point in the near future to do this?
I'm not sure what you're asking. I mean, like,
Well,
in addition to what they had?
Well, what I'm asking is, you know, that one of the things that I would suggest that we'd have is make sure to trying to reach different sectors of the community.
Sure, okay, sure, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else along those lines that you could see, want to make sure would happen during this process?
I'm not coming up with anything right
I'm
now.
not either.
There probably is, but I don't know.
The only thing I was thinking of was what you had just voiced, was making sure we get talk to the right people, talk to everyone to get their input.
At least have the opportunity, not
Yeah.
just the, hey, come down to City Hall on this one night,
Right,
and if you don't get to
You missed.
participate, you know? And it's like, well, we gotta do more than that.
sure, right.
But in addition to that, I think,
I mean, we have the concert series and we make announcements, talk about what we're doing and just put it in the ear of people, not just in the newspaper.
I suppose you could put out little brochures or flyers, questionnaires.
Yeah, So yeah, I think we talked about doing
Concert
that
in the
too,
parks and-
surveys and stuff like that, exactly.
Here's your free barbecue, fill out this survey.
Just, yeah, sort of some momentum
No,
building
yeah.
ahead of actually
Incentive.
doing the work, you know, get people thinking about it, let them know something's coming. I was just thinking we probably do need to talk with Tina and Bert and just make sure that we're not doubling up efforts.
or
Because,
getting ahead of the process.
yeah, they will definitely be strategic partners, but, you know, maybe this process, this community heart and soul process is the catalyst we need and gets us a long ways down these community outreach things. And if that's good enough to start building our plan from, then we don't need to go through all the process of repeating all those steps again.
Yeah.
But if we go that way, we very much need to be involved so that we're part of the discussion. And, you know,
Yeah.
somebody's not having a discussion over here. I saw that happen a little bit with strategic doing. You know, we had discussions going over here, but somebody missed that part of the discussion, so then they started the same process over here, and we were working on the same effort,
Running that
but not
parallel
realizing we're, doing the same thing. So I want to be careful that we don't do that,
Yeah.
knowing that there are other organizations that are interested in the same kind of stuff.
I think that's a
Yeah.
big issue, right, that happens where somebody's doing something and then, hey, I'm already doing that, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that, you know.
Right.
And then try to get them together with a common goal, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I think as staff is, we need to put together a plan for how this would actually occur. I mean, we can review this and we can discuss a little bit about it, but it is a major undertaking. It's
Sure.
not a little thing.
Yeah.
And there needs to be professionals involved. Like Barb with Community Manners.
Yeah, we need somebody who knows how to write the plan.
Someone like those.
Yep.
Obviously, this was done by Booker, Willis, and Ratliff, which is a similar type agency that they work with. The problem is a lot of small communities across Kansas are scrambling because one of the persons that would do comprehensive plans that I worked with in the other small town. Well, he's gone from us now. And all the small towns are like, well, who do you use now?
Yeah, everybody's looking for the same person.
We're not using anybody.
But, you know, that adage that always comes up, start with the end in mind.
Right.
I just wanted to introduce the topic tonight since we
Yeah.
had an opening on the schedule, and to just introduce it again and have it fresh in our minds. Okay, that's what the last one was. What can be better, or and understand what the process is to get it done.
So Ken, do you know of a website or a short training that we can maybe go through at home to kind of, to get an idea of what other communities have done?
No, I don't, but I come across comprehensive plans. I was looking at the RFPs for the request for proposals to get an agency involved, just to see what the communities recently, and there was a couple in Kansas. But I will search for that and send you some information.
And I'll do some searching too. If I find something, I'll pass it on. But I think that would be good for us to do our homework to see what, because obviously this is 26 years old, so things are gonna look different now. They may do things differently. So they might have things that we didn't want to think about. But to educate ourselves, I think would be best. And then we can kind of move forward with that and have better ideas and maybe a better plan to lay that out.
Maybe the last thing I would add, though, is I want to make sure that we don't just let this become a back burner thing. You know, we started talking about this when
Yeah.
Grady
yeah.
and Dennis and I were the
When
first
we
ones coming in
first
here.
started,
I agree.
We're fourth or more years now at this. 1 year turns into 3, turns into 5 really fast.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're already 26 years into this plan, and if we don't keep it at least part of the discussion, you know, every couple months or so, this thing's gonna be 30 years old before we know it.
Right. And
So-
you know, we may have to take a little extra more time,
Yeah.
you know, instead of 1 hour.
Yeah.
One person,
Right.
you know.
We've had a lot of big things come up with planning commission that took a lot of time, but I don't want this to just get shoved back because the next thing came along. I want to keep this as something important.
I agree too. yeah.
I agree.
It is important.
It is important, yes. Okay, good on that?
Yeah.
All right, let's move along. Reports. Grady, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Dennis?
No.
Curtis? Nothing from me. Kent?
We're in the process of scheduling a joint meeting of the city and county commission and also the school board to come listen to a presentation from some housing, a potential housing development involving and the reason why those 3 boards are involved, it is in the district, the rural housing incentive district or investment district, whatever it's called.
Alphabets.
Which we designate an area in order to have, it's the same developer, but he's doing it a different way on the last moderate income housing application. So it's the 2 lots that are north of Topside Manor. And then Josh will bring it up on the screen here real quick. Those 2 lots on the top of that screen north of Topside Manor. And then if they would sell, which I don't think is that big enough, then they would continue but they would start while they're doing the housing and everything, and then there'll be a proposal to reconfigure those 2 lots into 8 homes. but then continue it west onto the city's property, which is north of the two ponds at the bottom of the screen, which is just the ponds from the water treatment plant. But plat that out and present to you a preliminary and a final plat process. But the initial description and presentation of that housing, we're trying to set it up for June 1st. And it'll be just here in City Hall, or at least right now. If it changes, we'll let you know. Because we'll have the regular city commission right after. Try to have it for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. As far as the presentation to the different bodies. And you guys are welcome, you're obviously members of the public is welcome, so. There'll be additional proposals at some point presented to you all on the planning commission, but this is more regarding what their plans are, so.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Zach?
The previous hotel known as Roadway or Assam or Chahona, now the Dells Corp owns it. They are about a month out from being able to open up, so that'll be a nice little turnaround too.
It's looking really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's
it is.
behind you, Ross.
Are they gonna have an open house or anything that you know of?
I asked if they would like to come to a city commission meeting and talk, kind of give an idea of who they are as a company and who they are in general. They have not responded back to me. I just sent that out this afternoon, so.
Okay.
That's all I have to report.
Okay, very good. Minutes from April 14th. Everybody have a chance to take a look at those? Any corrections, additions, subtractions?
That's
Yeah.
all for me.
I would entertain a motion to approve.
Yeah, I move we approve the planning commission meeting minutes of April 14th, 2026.
I second it.
Okay, moved by Grady, seconded by Dennis. All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All right, I move we adjourn.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, moved by Matt, seconded by Grady. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thanks, guys.